All right, let's get this started. So playing as the Poles against Saracens. Kind of tough matchup if it goes late, but I already watched his rec, so I know what happens. I'm gonna point out stuff that you could have done better. Key mistakes. So first mistake was seeing that his scout was forward. That means you most likely got lamed, and you did react appropriately by trying to get your sheep. Obviously, these two got killed, so let's just fast forward. Actually, don't mind that he killed these sheep, because the other scenario is that he steals your sheep and then neither player, and then he gets it. So at least this way, if he kills a sheep, neither player gets it. It sucks, but you can make do without. Build is fine. So when you get lamed like this, you'll probably need to drop like a farm or two early on. Because without the extra food income from the sheep, you probably won't be able to click up as consistently. Elephant's a little bit late, but it's whatever, you're dealing with it. So I see you did try to push your deer. If you get lame like this, you should try to push all your deer. Obviously he sends like vills forward later, or we'll talk about that in a bit. Also, just make sure your lumber camp is actually placed like right above against the wood line here. I'm not sure if you could place it here. I think you can, like on these 4 tiles, or just like in here. Just try to make sure it's actually flat against the wood here. All right, so this is your first mistake, or one of the key mistakes. So you saw he had like 50 vills forward. I'm exaggerating. It's more like 12 or 13. So you should have dealt with this immediately. You should have kept your scout around, see what he's doing here, and dealt with it immediately. Let's just fast forward into Feudal Age. So obviously you know that he had vills forward because he took damage and you were actually fighting him. So this is like no excuse, you need to go scout what he's doing. Instead of like trying to scout the enemy. This is more pressing at the moment, because if he like towers you, if he like does like a forward range or whatever, that has potential to do a lot of damage to you. Also, you did get the wood upgrade, but I believe you didn't get the farm upgrade, which is very important with poles. You want the farm upgrade as soon as possible so that you can start farming efficiently, and also to ensure that every time you farm you get more food, because you get a percentage back, right? So you should have researched Horse Collar before you drop more farms. And also in general, like this is kind of unfortunate that you dropped your house like next to the berries, but in general you should try to you could have chopped this piece of wood here and then dropped another farm instead of farming around your TC, because you want to ensure all your farms are around your footwork, so that you actually get the refund, the food, instantly. All right, so we're going for scouts, which isn't the worst thing in the world in this matchup. So you see how like you're farming around the TC now, and you're not getting the bonus. Since this farm isn't directly like within the confines of the 9x9 square or whatever, it doesn't get the bonus. So just make sure you chop this wood next time if there's like a piece of straggler blocking the footwork, and then you can fit all the if you have the range indicator, you just click on it, it'll tell you like where you'll get the benefit from the footworks. So that means like when you drop this farm, you want to drop a couple of tiles forward so you can fit more farms in here. Alright, so you did layman back, you'll get the sheep back, so you're probably like about equal right now. But like I said before, the mistake was not figuring out what he was doing with all these vills. Like he was laid up, it could be a fast castle. You need to find out what he's doing here. Alright, this is another mistake. So you scouted always wood lines, right? You scouted this wood, and this wood, and you didn't find any woodcutters. So in your mind right now, you should be like, okay, this is really odd. Like, I need to hit his wood, but he's not here. Obviously, he was here, right? Because you saw him here already. Just assume that if you didn't even see him, there should be a big red flag. Like, I can't find his wood. It must be like somewhere else. So, and you also saw like 15 vills on food here. You idle his economy, which is really good. Like this is a good maneuver. Next thing you need to do is obviously find his wood, right? But the next step is to find out what else he's doing with his vills. So you saw that he's not on stone here, and he's farming, and he's going on gold. you also need to figure out where his other golds are. So you scouted the main gold, you realize he was trying to go on it, but he wasn't able to secure it. It's not going to be on this gold because it's forward. So try to find out where his other gold was. It was like all the way in the back here. Yeah. So now that you can't really find any damage because he has no wood and he's not on berries, and he's starting to farm, the next thing to do would be to deny his gold, right? I don't like this tower. Let's talk about this tower for a second. This tower doesn't do anything because he's not taking the gold. Like, yes, it denies it, but he's not taking it anyway. So this tower doesn't like serve a purpose right now. Also, it's a waste of stone because if he goes castle, you can just like, you know, like he could even run up with a couple of villagers and like just take out your tower. This tower, unless you're planning to go on stone heavily, like one tower isn't going to do anything. So now that you realize you can't get damage, that he's farming around his town center and you can't really get pickoffs, what you should have done was like use your other scouts to find out what else he's doing on the map. So like send a couple of scouts like this way, like here, and towards the back. Scout out what he's doing, and in the process, you'll eventually find out that his like forward base is like somewhere here, right? Then you could have dealt with it more readily. That was another mistake. So you couldn't deny, like, you did deny this gold, but, and I guess like this gold because it's like in range of the tower kind of, but you need to find out where his other gold is. If you deny all 3 golds, you just win there. All right, let's talk about this as well. So this is another mistake, another key mistake, which is checking into archery ranges. There's no reason to tech into archery ranges since you're under 0 pressure. He's not making archers. He's not making anything, actually. You're under like absolutely 0 pressure. His economy was idle, yours wasn't. I guess he figured that he was going to go Mamluks, right? But for that, he needs stone. So what you should have done was keep an eye on this stone here and this stone, because you did scout this one, right? Oops. So what you could have done was keep like a couple like scouts here and just like figure out what he's doing, what his strategy is. Taking into archers is a mistake. You could have done scouts into archers, but going archers in castle is kind of a bad because you don't have a mass from feudal to actually, you know, do damage. And he's actually going to beat you to castle, I believe. Oh no, you beat him to castle. So you have a massive lead right now. What you could have done instead of massing archers was drop a stable, 2 stables, and just go knights right away. With a knight, with 2 knights, or sorry, 2 stable knights and like a forward workshop, like right here on this hill, you could have done so much damage. You could have literally ended the game right here. Like you could have Magno as TC, just keep your scouts alive, upgrade light cav so that you have like, you know, like a couple extra units, and just deny everything. Like if you did that and your Magno is TC, he would have been dead. Because he would be stuck inside his TC, you would have scouts or knights like all around his eco. There's no way you can run. And then once you actually take down the TC, then you just kill the vills under the TC, right? Set, you went for archers, which unfortunately can't take buildings. You can keep his like outer farms idle, but you know, you can't get too close. And then he goes up to castle. And I believe he drops like 2 or 3 TCs. Yeah. So imagine you had like your scouts like patrolling like here and here, like towards the back. And he had a workshop on this hill. He would have never been able to get this castle up. You would have, well, 1, he can't get it up because you have knights here as well. 2, you have Maganos, he could deny it. 3, he would have never gotten this town center up either because he would have like a couple of scouts or knights up. And 4, I mean, you're still in a very good position because I think you have like a decent vill lead. Yeah, so you have a 4 vill lead, and it's gonna get even bigger from here for a while if you drop extra town centers. But he decided to go for the 1 TC approach, which I don't mind. I just think that archers at this point of the game was a mistake because you don't really have a mass. You only have like 7 archers. That could have easily been like 4 or 5 knights instead, maybe even more, and that would have denied everything that he's trying to get him right now. So you would have denied like him getting on stone, you would have denied this castle, you would have killed this TC by now. And so, but you're still in a very good position because like you have a massive army lead and I believe an eco lead. So let's look at the statistics. So you have over 2,000 food collected, or like just under 2,000. You have like over 1,000 wood collected. You have like 1,200 more gold. The only thing he has on you is stone, which is like whatever, you know. I do realize that you probably anticipated the Mameluke switch, so you went for archers because archers technically do like are soft counter to Mamelukes. But what I think you should have done was drop a couple of like maybe one monastery and just convert the Mamelukes as they come up. Because he doesn't really have the eco to spam Mamelukes because he only has one castle and they're super expensive. Also, you took him off gold, so it's not like unless he market abuses, he can't really get that many up. Also, you should have found this code a little bit earlier, but you know, it's just bad scouting. I don't mind you sieging this TC. I guess it's good. But in my opinion, yeah, I guess, yeah, you're doing what you can. So also when you're sieging, try to siege downhill. So if you put your Magnos like here, you would have had an attack bonus against this town center. You'll do like 25% more damage. Also, don't make rams while you're trying to siege. If you don't have like melee units to support it, he's just gonna ram it down with sorry, he's gonna kill the ram with like villagers or Mamelukes. So, and then you saw he has his own Magnaut now. So what you can do is just back up, take the fight on this hill, and then you always win it because you have an attack advantage. He doesn't. He's attacking uphill, you're attacking downhill. And that will make it much a to take this fight. Also, if you aren't very confident in your micro, don't try to take it head on with archers. Just make a couple more Magnos. And there's a little bit missed micro here, but you know, happens to all of us. But even despite all this, you still have a very good advantage. You took down one town center, and let's look at the statistics again. So you still have like a massive eco lead. You have over like 3,000 food collected now, 1,000 more gold. You have like he has a slight vill lead, but all right, sorry about that. I actually closed the wreck. All right, so back on topic. Right now, I would have just at this point. I would have just went back home and boomed up instead of investing more into knights, because knights can't really do anything now against Mamelukes. Instead of trying to get damage in, right? So yeah, so just wall up, go home, wall up, get like a castle up, and just out macro him, because you can't really do damage when he has like that many Magnos out, and also he has a castle like protecting his code. So there's a little bit of miss micro here, but happens to all of us. But despite all of that, you know, your eco and vills and your economy is way stronger, because right now he only has what? He has let's see. He has 23 farms. But you only have 14 farms. So this is another mistake in that you didn't focus on your eco. You should have had a massive eco lead simply due to the fact that you were under zero pressure. So if you want to win games more consistently, I suggest focusing more on eco and less about killing your opponents right away, unless you can capitalize on like a massive lead early, which you tried. In my opinion, if you had just stuck to knights, like +2 knights, dive his town center with like a couple Magnos, you would have ended the game at like 22, 23, 24 minutes. That's my opinion though. And that tower was kind of useless, right? So with that tower, with the stone you save, you would have been able to drop 2 town centers immediately. That would have like massively inflated your eco lead, and you would have just won the game in imp. You would have been faster to imp. You would have had the tech advantage. And if you really wanted to, you could have done Arbalesters with +4. With Bracer, and then his Magnos wouldn't be as dangerous. Let's just fast forward a little. Oops. All right, so I don't mind this castle here because you know you secure this gold and this stone, and he's getting a castle on this hill. I would have recommended like a castle like here. Yeah, that's where I would have done a castle, because then you could deny his gold. And then you can start trapping his like town center and his castles immediately. But this isn't the worst. Just not the one that I would have went for. So he's first to imp. When you get to imp, the upgrade, or also another thing before I forget, you never got heavy plow the whole game. This is very important when you're playing poles. You want to get the farm upgrades usually as soon as you can, because that really increases the amount of food you get from your farms. So remember, if you're playing poles, make sure to get that as soon as you can. Also, another thing is when you get to imp, so let's just forward to imp. First thing you should do is get the wood upgrade if you don't already have it. Next thing is get bracer and get chemistry, and ballistics if you don't have it either. I'm not sure if you have ballistics yet. Let's just check. So you don't have ballistics. That's another mistake. You should get this in Castle Age if you're playing heavy into archers. Otherwise, you really can't hit anything. Ballistics is one of those big power spikes. With ballistics, you can take very good fights against Mamelukes. Another thing is, if with fast chemistry, you can start making bomber cannons, and then Magnos would be useless because you could just right-click them or target fire, and they wouldn't even be able to get close. You know. Treb, that's good. Don't know why you're making Lycav into Mameluke, because right now the only thing he has are Mamelukes, right? So if anything, the trash unit you should have made was probably pikemen, so that he can't run up on you and like snipe out your siege, or like get a good fight against your crossbows. I know poles don't have halbs, but in my opinion, hussars aren't like the best unit unless you wanted to raid. But his economy is kind of safe. Like he has like castles over the place. He has town centers. I guess he still could have gotten damage, but that's something you do later in the game, right? Once your economy is set up. Because right now you only have 18 farms. That is not enough to spam hussars. You need something like 60, 70, like 70 farms to spam hussar. So you need to get bracer and chemistry right away. And I don't mind the trap. I don't mind you making a trap right away, because that does allow you to start sieging as soon as possible. But you need to figure out what you need to deal with the immediate threat right now, which is the Mamelukes and the Magnos. Just fast forward. Okay, yeah, winged hussar right now is a mistake because you only have like 5 or 6 hussars, and you do not have the food economy to support it right now. You probably thought, hey, if I just make hussars, I can take the Magnos, but bomber cannons can do the same thing and also take down buildings. Alright, so Trebing is... And right now, you have like a 30-bill lead or so. So you're in a very good spot right here. But in my opinion, the mistake was not getting your upgrades, so not getting bracer and chemistry, not getting bomber cannon. I do like the raids though. Okay, so he's going to Onager now, and he has 8 range, right? You only have 7 range. That means he outranges you. So there's like no conceivable way you can take a good fight unless you're like extremely skilled with split micro and whatnot. It's just gonna be a bad time for you, even though you're on the hill. So fast forward, you lose everything, even though you have the hill advantage. Well, you're downhill now. So if you had bracer and if you had chemistry and all the other upgrades, you could actually just kite back to your castle, and you could shoot the Magnos like within the range of your castle, or with bomber cannons you could just snipe them from a distance. And then the game kind of feels like out of hand here, because it looks like he has like a unkillable mass of Mamelukes. And then the rest of the game, very predictably goes in his favor. Just because you lost like the Arbalest, that was like the game losing move. Anyone that loses like 40 Arbalest for like 3 Onagers is probably not gonna have a good time. But you still have a massive eco lead. So the only way you could have won this game, in my opinion, was to raid his economy. So you see how like always farms idle, right? This is a good thing. So if you look at his eco, he has like no food at all. He has 12 on food right now. If you just masked up your units, got your upgrades, you could have taken one good fight and possibly ended the game. But you lost too many units, you could never macro up, and your economy isn't that strong. Like, you have 40 farms now, but in reality, you should have way more. You should have like close to 60, 70 farms. Also, you don't really have the best upgrades for the Hussars either. Despite all of that, you're still in a very good position because your eco is stronger than his. Okay, Germany Castle. Yeah, you still never got Bracer. That's such a key mistake here. And in my opinion, if you went Pikeman instead of Hussars, or like you had a Pikeman and Hussars, you would have done a really good job. Just like run like 40 Pikemen at him with Arbalest support. He would never have been able to get close to your Arbalest and you would have been able to shoot him. It's like a very good fight. But now, yeah, like this many Mamluks feels like an uphill battle for sure. And then game's essentially over. So key mistakes. One was not scouting like this forward base thingy, even though like I think you even sent sheep this way, so he definitely saw it. Two was not controlling his golds. Like you had army out, he didn't. If you controlled his gold, he wouldn't be able to get up any units. Three was going for an archery range switch when there was no need to. You're just stuck on knights until you actually made Mamluks and then switch. And then the appropriate response to Mamluks, like that little, like 3 or 4, just make like 3 or 4 monks yourself and convert all of them. Because remember, his economy was terrible. Like he had like idle farms, like idle everything. And you control like his main gold and also one of his secondary golds. 3 was taking that fight on this hill without bomber cannons. You saw that he had Maginot, yet you still tried to engage without Bracer. So obviously you took heavy losses here. Those are the 3 key mistakes that I noticed. There's definitely things that I missed as well. Like, I think you should have dropped like a couple farms when you got lamed. The other thing was not focus on your own economy. You were under no pressure, so you should have dropped like 1 billion farms, just raided him to death. What you could also done was maybe add pikemen. Pikemen aren't the best unit here, but they would have done a better job at securing your arbalists against like those Mamluks. Also, they wouldn't have been completely worthless against his onagers, because you could just run up and like poke him to death. So if you have any specific questions about what you could have done better, definitely feel free to ask. These were just the things that I noticed. I'm sure looking back at this now, like you know you have to work on scouting, also securing resources, not dropping like a forward tower. That was another mistake that I noticed. That tower didn't really accomplish much. Just in general, like scout a little better, and try to secure your opponent's resources, and work on your own economy. Those are the things that I think you need to work on the most. All right.